Big C and his trusty companions, Jazzy Jeff and Stinky Pete.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Shaggy, and welcome along to Off the Record episode 208, I believe it is today. So series 8, episode 8. Stinky Pete, welcome back. And Jazzy Jeff, after a week off last week, you stepped aside.
I did. Can I just say,
Yes.
I got 10cc on question 1.
Did you really?
And I got rainbow on question 2.
Yeah, I got rainbow on question 2 as well. I just didn't say anything because I got thrown off by the bloody Americans. But don't start me. I listened back to the podcast and I was furious. I stopped 3/4 of the way through the damn thing through the window. So,
I hope you listened to the ones that you said, oh, I said it first, and you realised that you didn't.
No.
Maybe that was after you threw it away.
No, Shaggy was pissing about. Basically, I obviously won. Anyway, I'm not going there again.
Yeah, I've said to Shaggy, actually, because we're talking TV shows in the 1980s. If he wants to step in and tell us some American shows that he's keen on, he can do so, of course. Well, he can always interject. There's a nice word. Oof,
it's a good word. We do like an interjection.
We do like an interjection. It's a bit like a new entry, really, isn't it? We do love a new entry. Oh, yes, on our chart rundowns. Yeah, good that Man City held on just about tonight, 1-0 against Burnley, so they're top of the league. And I was hoping they didn't blow it after beating Arsenal at the weekend, which would have been highly frustrating.
It would have been highly frustrating.
But
it's very, very amusing.
I'm a Man City fan.
Yes. Everybody knows that they cheat, so we don't care. As long as it's not Arsenal.
Allegedly,
yeah.
Allegedly 121 times or whatever. However many.
115.
That's 115. That died of death.
That's got to be more. That's got to be more times than Donald Trump, surely.
What?
Have you seen his latest totally unhinged rant? It's just unbelievable about this by-election in Virginia, where they've redrawn they've quote unquote gerrymandered so that there's more Democrats because they can take back the House, and he's just. I saw it earlier. One of my mates posted it, and it's literally one of those things where you go, you need to send round people with a straitjacket and section this bloke because it is mental. I mean, he's gone. His moorings have slipped. He is literally drifting away. Mad as a box of frogs.
It'll be a sad day, wouldn't it? It will be a sad day.
It will.
It'll be a sad day for me because I won't have anyone to laugh at us quite as much. So, you know.
Well, there's always
Arsenal. There's always Arsenal.
Arsenal. Yeah, did you see the statistic? Is it? I think they've been top for 500 and something odd weeks, and Manchester City have been top for 430 something weeks over the last 4 seasons. And in those 4 seasons, Arsenal have won no Premier Leagues, and Manchester City have won 4. And you just go, that is so funny.
It is. We don't want to count our blessings, especially in the form we're in at the moment and our position in the table. We're expecting to get wins here and there and everywhere, but we haven't
accepted. I've accepted relegation. I've accepted relegation. If it doesn't happen, I should be surprised.
Yeah, I think that's the case, but obviously we don't really want to go down. But
we don't want to. But I think it's better for your mental health.
It's looking seriously like
it's going to happen, and if it doesn't, then miracles happen.
And the thing is, you can look at fixtures for the other teams, and you think, oh yeah. And I saw one the other day as soon as we'd played, and West Ham, they drew, didn't they, on Monday?
Yeah.
And they looked at all their fixtures coming up, and they said, yeah, look at all these fixtures. They've got to play Arsenal for a start. So we actually want Arsenal to win that, ironically.
Yes.
Annoying. Yeah. A draw maybe would do.
Yeah. A 0-0 draw. Stultifyingly boring with a few sendings off.
I think we can catch them. But looking at the fixtures coming up, you never know what's going to happen. Look at Burnley tonight. I mean, they could have sneaked an equaliser quite easily by all accounts. Fortunately, they didn't.
It is what it is, mate. We can't change it.
It is what
at the
it
end of the
is.
day, it's only football, and
It's only
not
football, and things
not a matter
could
of
be
life and
worse.
death. They
Things
They
could be
could.
worse. I've got my CBW shirt on today, actually. For those,
Oh, look at you.
Oh, that's really funky.
That is cool.
Is. I wonder
That
what
is
you're going to
cool.
say there. Yeah, that's my CBW. Had it on this morning during the show. Had it on now. Yep. You
Did
can
you watch it in
purchase this.
between?
On between, not between. I should wash it after I eat any time, actually. But I had a little bib on today when I was having spaghetti, like a tea towel, just to make sure I didn't get anything on, because I generally do. Yeah, but you can get it on the merchandise page of the CBW Radio, the CBW Productions, CBW Radio website, as along with
Can I
all
just be
other
clear? What
stuff.
are we doing here? A podcast, or are we advertising CBW Radio? Just
Either
sort of-
one, either one, a bit of
Oh,
both, bit of
we are
both.
we are nothing without them.
We
Well,
are
this
not.
is true.
This is CBW Productions podcast. Welcome to Twitter. If you're watching live on Twitter, which I have just reposted as I speak. It's on YouTube, the Real CBW Productions YouTube channel. It's on there. And what else? It's on Facebook, the Off the Record Facebook page. Okie doke. So what are we doing this week, chaps? Well, I know, we are doing 80s TV shows. We're going to have a good old reminisce this evening. Hopefully happy memories. I think you suggested earlier that it would mainly be happy memories, didn't you, Pete?
Yeah,
In the 80s.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
in my little introduction, I have those.
I was in my 20s during the 80s. And I was living at home still for the majority of those 80s years, actually. So I'm sort of led to what we were watching by my parents.
Yeah.
So I may well have gone back subsequent to the 80s and watched other stuff. I mean, a lot of the stuff I've got on my list here maybe came out in the 80s, but I didn't catch on to them until the 90s, for example. A lot of American shows, a lot of British shows as well. You got a good mix, I assume.
I tried to do 5 and 5, and I thought I'd sorted that until I realised that one of the ones that I thought was English was American.
Never mind.
Oh, I've got 4 and 6.
Well, when I did my first list, I had about 12 that are American and about 2 that were English. So I thought British. So I did a bit of a recap, and I've added a few British ones in. So I don't know whether I'm going to have them. We might duplicate anyway. So
I'm certain that we'll duplicate on this. And I've only chosen 10, and I've got 7 American and 3 British. But I think the interesting thing for me is that when I looked at the shows that I was watching, I realised that the 1980s was the decade where the American shows really did. There was some just brilliant American TV, and so a lot of what I watched was American. Whereas in the 70s, it was all British. So I think that the 80s was a sea change. And the interesting thing for me was, and when we were talking about this earlier, the kind of happy memories. I got married in 1980. And by 1989, I'd got 5 kids. So
where are the happy memories in that?
Right. So over those 10 years, the shows that I was watching were ones that Rowena and I were watching when we finished work, and we were living up on the Wirral, and then we moved down to Dunstable and with Daniel, and then the kids started arriving. So there were shows that ended up being watched as the kind of relief when we'd nailed them all into bed and fed them and cleaned up freaking Lego bricks off the floor and all the rest of it. So, it wouldn't have been Lego bricks at that age, would it? Well, whatever it was that used to stick in your foot when you were walking around barefooted. And so the memories are very much of kind of the enjoyment of the series, which were good, and then also the kind of more comedy stuff, and just kind of enjoying that relaxation when you got kids rioting around all over the place. So it was, for me, the 1980s was my TV decade.
Okay, for the record, we must say, don't try this at home. nailing kids to the bed. And no kids were
I
harmed
didn't
during
say
the
they were nailed to
1980s.
bed. I said nailing them into bed. It's completely. It's a turn of phrase. Just a turn of phrase.
Okay.
No nails included.
Okay, you say that about the American stuff. I know what you mean. A lot of, particularly comedy shows, actually became quite prevalent in the 80s. The 70s, there were quite a few American stuff that I was watching, actually. Although we're not talking about the 70s, but I'm talking about things like the police, like Kojaks and Starsky and Hutch and
I watched some of those, but I
and this
didn't.
sort of stuff.
In the 70s, I was more watching, kind of the British comedy stuff, so the Porridges and those kind of things, Dad's Army, etc., etc.,
Well,
rather than the dramas.
both brilliant shows, it must be said.
Yeah.
And you, Jeff, you were a little bit younger than us, weren't you?
Well, I'm a year younger than you, so I was in my 20s in. Yeah, quite. Yes.
A little bit.
I was in my 20s. I got married in 85. So I kind of had half of it at home and half of it in less from my home. And we didn't start producing until 88. So it, yeah, I guess it was that sort of time of young people sort of making their way in the world.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
I suppose as Pete said, a lot of it was stuff that we would have watched after work. I managed to avoid putting Neighbours in this. I thought I'd just let you know because that came out in the 80s, and I am ashamed to say that it used to get watched at lunchtime at work, which was
Really
scary. Yeah, but yeah, I'm not a big 80s fan generally. Although looking back on some of these shows are fabulous.
Yeah.
And I've watched a number of them later in life and gone, actually, I enjoyed them more now than I did at the time. But actually, even at the time, they were fabulous. There's one or two that I watched at the time. But when you watch them nowadays, or you watch them a bit later, you realise just how bad some of the technology was. That we said it was fine, it was okay. But looking at it now, you go, that is so naive.
It's clunky. It's clunkier, isn't it? And it's the same with the films. You watch the films from the 1980s now, and even more the films from the 70s. Unless they were real high end stuff, then you go the dialogue you can't hear properly. The special effects. So I think the world moved on, didn't it? But I think that the beauty of the 1980s series, the ones that I've chosen, is that almost without exception they were brilliantly written. So
I can't say that. I've just enjoyed some of the ones that I've got.
No, you're like me, Jeff. I like stuff. There was stuff. I agree. There's a couple, I'm sure, at least two that were brilliantly written. I think.
Yeah, I've got a couple.
Pete, you can start. Tell us what you got then. Unless you got an intro to it all.
Okay. Well, no, that was my intro. My intro was just the fact that of how I was watching it. So the first one I've chosen, and bearing in mind this is a music podcast, so I've tried to make a link back to some of the music as well.
Okay.
So my first choice ran from 1984 to 1989, and it is Miami Vice. With Don Johnson as Crockett and Philip Michael Thomas as Tubbs. Executive producer was Michael Mann. It was an Anthony Yerkovich creation. And the Miami Vice theme, Jan Hammer. You don't go very far wrong with a Jan Hammer theme.
No.
What did I like about Miami? I mean, Rowena and I used to watch it religiously. What is it I like about Miami Vice? I really liked they were buddy cops, but they weren't kind of like Starsky and Hutch. They were much edgier. I thought I liked the writing of Miami Vice because it was much edgier. And what I loved about it was the fact that it was. I liked the dynamic between the two of them. Don Johnson's. His role I thought was very well written, and And then it was everything that went around it. You know, it was the fashion, it was the snappy suits that they wore. It was the fact that he was a policeman and he drove a Ferrari, like all policemen do. And then also you then had the music with it. I remember one particular episode where they're blasting down the whatever the road in Miami, the coastal road in Miami is called,
Yeah.
and they're playing Brothers in Arms, and it's kind of like a late night chase or whatever. And so he's got the top down, they've got the fancy gear on, they've got Brothers in Arms playing in the background, and it's just an absolutely iconic memory from that show. And I just think it was brilliant. I absolutely loved it. So that was an easy first pick.
Easy first. Brothers in Arms doesn't sound like a chase song, does it?
No, it wasn't a chase song. It was they were going somewhere the car with the top down, but it was down the coast road.
I picked Miami Vice as well.
Okay.
Because to add to what Pete said, they were the first rock star detectives.
Yes, absolutely.
They were far more about their image and the clothes and the music rather than the dirt and the grime of New York or Chicago, which is But I don't know if you looked at this, Pete, but the list of music that was in it, like filled the entire computer screen. It was heaving with popular music at the time.
Yeah,
but
I didn't check
a whole bunch of cameos in the 5 seasons. So Leonard Cohen was in it, Phil Collins was in it, Miles Davis was in it, Frank Zappa was in it, Ted Nugent was in it, Willie Nelson was in it, Gloria Estefan, of course, was in it. So that it was just heaving with popularity and flashness, and actually the storylines kind of like didn't matter.
No,
it was about what it looked like.
Yes, it was the storyline. The storyline was almost like it was like the book cover and a basic introduction, and then the music and the fashion and the kind of interplay between them was what filled in all of the gaps. And as you say,
it was written for the MTV audience, and I quote.
Was it really? Yeah, that's not a surprise. I mean, for sure. I'm not surprised by that. But I mean, it was an absolutely banging soundtrack. I mean, every single episode, you just go, "Oh yeah, love that," So yeah,
Crockett had his own little theme, didn't he, as well?
Crockett's theme.
Jan Hammer tune, which is a great tune, isn't it? Yeah, the theme was with the drums coming in. Yeah, and I know what you mean about different to Starsky and Hutch. For a start, Crockett and Tubbs are more likely to throw themselves off across the front of a boat rather than the bonnet of a car.
Yes, exactly.
Like Hutch or Starsky, whichever one it was, did.
But also, what I liked,
certainly wasn't Frank Cannon doing it anyway.
He couldn't jump across anything. And knock at Ironsides. But the
that would have been a show.
I can't believe I just said that, but I did. Anyway, but the other thing about it was that Crockett, he always played fast and loose with the rules, didn't he? Basically, there'll be that point where he go, "No, stuff it, I'm going to shoot the guy," and I also like that as well, because he wasn't constrained by there's these police rules. He just said, "No, that's it, boom, gone." And I kind of quite like the anarchist bit of that as well. But it was a great series, really was.
Cool. I definitely watched Miami Vice. I didn't put it on my list, actually. It was on my long list of shows that was on, but I didn't choose it. I don't know why I didn't choose it. I do like the sort of nitty-gritty New York stuff, actually, and the murders, rather than just basically a lot of drug cartels that you get down in Florida, in Miami or whatever.
But the drug cartels wore snappy suits.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. They had to compete, didn't they, with Crockett?
They did. Yeah, absolutely.
So, Jeff, you had Miami Vice as well. So, does that mean it's my go, or do you want to go?
You go. And then we'll go.
I'm going to come across the pond to this United Kingdom of ours, and a show that was predominantly. I've found some that started in the 70s and ran into the 80s. A few have started in the 80s and finished in the 90s. This one ran for the entire 80s. Actually, it started in 79, ended in 1994. It featured 2 main characters, one of whom was...
Yeah, I've got this as well.
You know who it is?
I know exactly what it is. Yeah.
Okay, well, one's an honest and likable boxer
Yeah.
turned bodyguard.
Yeah.
What was his name? Terry McCann.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, Arthur Daly. George Cole, what a role that was for him. Was he like the? We might mention this later on. I'm sure Stinks won't though. It was like a Del Boy character, really, wasn't he? Or the other way around?
He was a bit more crooked and not. He was a bit more. Not wide boy, but like sort of like criminal, like from the past, wasn't he?
Yes.
George, what? Arthur Daly was, yeah.
Arthur Daly, he was a bit more
Right,
the
okay.
crime scene rather than I'm just a bit of a flyboy.
Fair
Yeah,
dues, 'cause
I mean,
he was
he's-
certainly a chancer, wasn't he?
He was a chancer, and he was very. Whereas Del Boy was the kind of lovable rogue.
When was
I
the
think-
chancer?
I think George Cole is more edgy. I mean, you know, Arthur Daly is a wrong'un, which is why he's got a bodyguard.
That's fair enough. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he was. I don't know, like a used car salesman sort of stuff, wasn't he? And
Yeah.
yeah, imported stuff, exported stuff, and he had Dennis Waterman, Terry McCann, the character Terry McCann as his minder, and in fact, of course, Dennis Waterman sang the theme tune for
He
it.
did, which
I
is
like Dennis
musically.
Waterman singing.
Yeah,
I'm not
he's very
sure
good.
I do. I'm not sure. I like the theme tune. I could be so good for you, wasn't
I
it?
can be so good for you. Yeah.
I could be so good for you.
His
was the theme
first
tune.
album was great. Downwind of
Really?
Angels, it was called.
Really?
No, I think if you think about it, he and David Soul from Starsky and Hutch, they
Yeah, he
both
had a
had,
good-
they
good
both
voice.
had musical careers,
Mm.
and I think, you know, they're both spin-offs from that kind of show. If I had to listen to one, I'd choose Dennis Waterman over David Soul, even though David Soul was, you know, he was a good singer but it wasn't really my kind of
David
music.
Soul has some great songs.
He did have some. I'm not saying he didn't, but what I'm saying is, if I had to choose between the two, I'd choose Dennis Waterman because he's got that kind of rougher. I know maybe it's the Cockney thing, but you know, I think. Anyway, what's the thing called, Colin? Because we haven't mentioned
Minder.
that yet.
I was just about to say. I didn't actually say it. It's called Minder, as you well know. But listeners or viewers might not know what the hell he's talking about. Minder was a show that ran from 79 through to 94. George Cole had appeared in, I think, already appeared in St. Trinian's films, hadn't he?
Yes, he did. Yeah, the
Yeah,
original.
he was I forget his character name, but he was a bit of a wheeling dealer, wasn't he then?
That was what he did. Basically,
Yeah,
I
he
think
was
pretty
good at
well
that
all of
sort
his
of-
roles. He
that
doesn't have to act;
characterisation.
it's just him, you know.
Yeah, okay. And the theme tune was a top 10 hit, I think, for Dennis Waterman, who's one of the other main character. I Could Be So Good For You. So Minder, I've gone.
So there's a couple, 114 episodes.
Yeah,
Minder
you probably
ran
know
for.
more about this than me. Then yeah,
But-
go on.
But towards the end, it wasn't Dennis Waterman, was it? He was only through till series 7, and the last 3 series, it wasn't Dennis Waterman. I can't remember who it was. But do you remember my favourite character in the entirety of Minder? Glyn Edwards, who played Dave Harris. You remember Dave?
I remember Dave Harris, his mate. Did he run the Winchester?
He ran the Winchester.
The
Okay,
Winchester Arms. Yeah.
the Winchester was like the club, wasn't it? The men's club
It
that they all
was.
used to drink in. And it's really funny because my mate Richard, I used to work with when I worked for the consulting company in the late 80s in London, he used to, when we were working on a project together, he often used to come up to Dunstable, and lunch times, when we'd been working in the morning, we'd go to the pub around the corner from my house, which was called the Globe. And every time we went in there, Richard used to go, "Are we going round the Winchester?" Because it was literally like the Winchester. And you'd go through the door and it had the same characters in there. It had a similar bar. And he just goes, "Yeah, you're right. This is the Winchester, just moved to Bedfordshire." But yeah. And can you remember the name of, can you remember the actor who did DC Chisholm? He's quite famous.
That's the thin fellow with the bald head.
Yeah, what was his name?
Oh, this is a quiz for us, is it?
His name
I'm getting the own back for last week.
His name is.
First name is Patrick. What's his surname?
Malahide.
Malahide, yeah, Patrick Malahide.
Malahide.
Great,
Patrick
I
Malahide.
love that name. Yeah, if I could have my time over again, I'd want to be called Malahide. It's got, yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of
But then
Malahides.
you wouldn't be my brother.
Well, that's true. And I'm going over.
Malahide. It sounds
And
like he
the
might be another
other-
TV detective.
It does, yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. But the other thing about Minder is that, of course, George Cole, Arthur Daly drove a Jag. So,
Like
not
you.
much stuff, really. Yeah.
You're a bit of an Arthur Daly character.
exactly.
Arthur Daly, he's
Half
all
a
right.
sixpence.
That was a hit single as well, wasn't it? You remember
Yeah, it
that?
was.
Arthur
Yeah,
Daly,
yeah.
he's all right.
Arthur Daly.
Do you
he's
remember
all
who
right.
did that? Do you remember who did that?
No.
The Firm.
Really?
Yes.
No.
Who also went to number one with Star Trekking Across the
Across
the
Universe.
USA.
That one. Right. So who are we going to now? Well, are we back to you, Pete? Or do you want Jeff? Do you want to do one?
In theory, we're all going to choose a lot of these the same. So yeah, go on, Jeff. What are you going to do next?
Okay, well, I'm going to change the genre completely.
Good.
I'm going to stay in England, if that's okay with you. So
That's
this
fine.
is 3 seasons, 1984 to 1986. I have to be honest here, so that the world and the public know, I love this myth, this whole mythology one. I love all the stuff that there is about it. So this is Robin of Sherwood,
Oh.
starring Michael Prayad as Robin.
Yeah.
And Judy Trott as a very decent Maid Marian. Mr. Vicar of Dibley, Clive Mantle was Little John, if you remember him.
I do.
And an incredibly thin and young Ray Winston playing Will Scarlet. And it was misty and it was mystic, and it had got a horned, ghostly Herne the Hunter in it. It was very, Nick would have loved it. It was very Green Man. It was very, very much on the mystical side of the Robin Hood stories. They had a Saracen assassin in it as well, as part of his merry gang, and of course it had Clannad as doing the
Robin the Hooded Man.
the theme tune, which is a superb theme tune.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
But Jason Connery took over in the last season as not quite. He became Herne personified, which got a bit weird because Robin disappeared, which is all a bit odd. But I really enjoyed it at the time. It was well put together.
Yeah.
And I say, like, the Robin Hood myth can do no wrong in my book. Like from Disney through to, whatever his name was. What's his name? The guy who used to do it in the 40s.
Errol Flynn.
That's the fella.
Yeah.
Good old Errol.
All of that. So yeah, Robin of Sherwood. Does anyone else remember that?
I remember it. Yeah, it's not on my list.
I didn't put it on my list, but I could easily have done, because certainly the first series I watched and enjoyed, and the Clannad connection. So yeah.
She died this week, last week, didn't she?
She did. I was very sad about this.
The old harpist.
Mare.
Yeah.
Do you like the way I did that? Does that look like a harp?
No, it looked like you doing weird stuff with your fingers, and anybody watching is going to go.
Of course, I was going to have Lovejoy, which was my favourite show of all time.
Not a good show,
but it's 90s. Couldn't believe it. It started like the back end of '89. I thought
it's disappointing when you look at that and you think, oh no, it's not in that decade.
Oh, Lovejoy! I can talk about Lovejoy. No, I can't talk about Lovejoy.
Who was the character that used to ride on a motorbike in Lovejoy? Remember him?
It was Pike. He's sidekick.
Spike, that's the one. Yeah, he used to love the heavy metal music, didn't he?
Yeah.
I remember he used to. He turned up on his motorbike with his headphones on, listening to his rock music, and I think Lovejoy was talking to him.
The actor was called Chris something or other, but yeah, he was called Pike. Yeah.
But Lovejoy,
I can't be honest. I can't take anything with Ian McShane in seriously, ever since he was Judas in Jesus of Nazareth. When you've been Judas, there's not a lot of places you can go, really.
I think he was in one of the big American soaps as well, wasn't he, Ian McShane?
He's been in loads of stuff.
He was in Deadwood, wasn't he?
But anyway, was he on Deadwood? Okay. Yeah, Ian McShane, Lovejoy, he turned up Spike on the bike with his headphones on, listening to his loud music, of course. And he's trying to talk to him, Lovejoy, but he couldn't hear him. So he pulls his headphones back like that and says, "Oh, what are you listening to?" And he goes, "Def Leppard." He says, "I'm not surprised." And I thought that was the one line I remember from Lovejoy, but it's not in the 80s, so we forget about that.
And I'm very, very pleased that you got another music reference in, because this is a music podcast. So
yes,
well done.
love it. Over to you, Pete, then.
Okay, well, I'm going to go one which I know you're going to have chosen, so I'm going to jump in first. This is 1981 to 1987, 146 episodes, Hill Street Blues. And if I think back to the stuff I really, really loved in the 80s, if I could only choose one show, it would be Hill Street Blues. It's absolutely brilliant, brilliantly written, great storyline, terrific characters, an absolutely superb theme tune. There's nothing about Hill Street Blues not to like. But when I did the when I read around about it, there was some quite interesting stuff. Did you know, for example, that its debut season was 1981? It won 8 Emmys in
I read that, yeah, because I had it down as well, Hill Street Blues.
That's right. Okay. And it's a debut season record that's only been bettered once by which show?
West Wing in 2000.
The best show ever in all
Best show ever.
history.
Yeah.
So and for me, I think you can't put them in the same category because they're very, very different shows, but they ran for 7. They both ran for 7 seasons. And I think that in terms of the writing and the way that the characters are developed, I think you can draw a parallel. Because what I loved about Hill Street Blues was that you really got into the lives and the struggles of the people.
Yeah,
exactly. So you got Hill, Farillo, Belko, Renko, I loved Renko, and Hunter. Created by Stephen Bochco and Michael Kozol. Did you know that the theme tune had Larry Carlton on guitar?
I did, because whenever I play it on the radio, and I no doubt will play it tomorrow morning as well, although you won't hear it. It's Mike Post featuring Larry Carlton.
Yes, it's Mike. So it's a Mike Post, and actually, I've got another Mike Post in here somewhere. But so it's a Mike Post piece of music, and it got to number 10 on the Billboard. So I mean, it did very well in the popular music chart. And you cannot forget the absolutely brilliant Michael Conrad as Phil Esterhouse.
Oh,
be careful out there.
Be careful out there. Yeah, absolutely. Although he died, didn't he?
He died during
3 seasons in, was it?
No, I thought it was more than that.
I don't know.
Because they didn't have to. They had to write around it, didn't they? The same way that they had to write around Leo dying in West Wing.
Yeah.
Because he died just before the filming of the last series, didn't they? So they had to write him out in that way. I think they had to do the same. But I remember that episode where he died, and it was almost like he'd lost a member of the family because he was so good in that role. It was brilliant.
They were brilliant. The characters. You like Hill Street Blues, Jeff, as well?
Okay, so I love the theme tune.
Yes.
I have never seen it.
This is one of those shows you can get it. I noticed it's on one of the streaming channels now. The whole lot of them. So I might have to go back and watch them all.
Yeah, I might have to go back and watch them.
I was gonna ask you a few questions about the characters and see whether you knew. Like, I'll give you some actors then, and you say who the character, and you say the character is. Yeah, you've mentioned some of them already, so I probably won't have to say Michael Conrad or Daniel J. Travanti. You know him. What about?
No, it wasn't Tremonti. That was Farillo, wasn't it?
That was Frank Farillo. Yeah.
Yeah.
And his wife was character Frank Farillo and.
I don't remember, Colin.
Played by Barbara Bosson.
Yeah, played by Barbara Bosson. Yeah,
Faye Farillo.
Faye, I remember. I can picture her really, really clearly.
What about Joe Spano or Joe Spano? Do you know him?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, he's looking the answers up. That's cheating.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm trying to remember. Right. Was he Belker or was he? No, he wasn't Renko, was he?
He was Goldblum.
Goldblum, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and you had Torian Black. as Neil Washington. You had Keel Martin as J.D. LaRue. All of these character names, they won't mean much to you, Jeff, but if you watch them, they will do. You had Rene Enriquez as Ray Costello, Betty Thomas, the tall Lucy Bates character, and Renko you mentioned as well. I'll tell you what was unique about Hill Street Blues when we got into it was how innovative it seemed with the camera work, because you were jutting around all over the place, weren't you?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that has been picked up by so many afterwards, influenced so many drama series after that.
Yeah.
But that was new. It was new. It almost put me off at the start, but you get into it
because
straight away.
static. It wasn't static cameras. That they basically the cameras were moving around with the action, which subsequently, like all the Bourne movies, most of the Bourne movies are shot like that. So it's interesting how it was a pioneering technology as well.
Yes,
But it was just brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Agree. And it was on my list as well. So we're back to. Go on, Jeff. You do another one then.
Okay, let's try this one. This is 3 seasons. It's American.
Yep.
3 seasons, 84 to 87. I'll give you a clue, see if you can get it from this. This was tough, quite funny, but very dark, very much in the film noir style. It was a story about a private eye who was violent and quite old-fashioned, quite misogynistic, always shot the baddie before the end of the show, always. And the whole thing was done in a narration. So the main character was
Huh? It rings a bell, but I'm trying to think of the name.
So he was
not on my list.
He was narrating the whole thing for the audience and working through very much that 1940s sort of style sort of thing.
The character is the name of the show, is it?
It is.
Oh,
Okay.
is it? Yeah. This is really going to annoy me when you tell me.
Rainbow.
Yeah. What?
I said
Piss
Rainbow.
Just piss right off. Take
Moody
your rainbow,
Blues.
stick
Moody
it where
Blues.
the sun doesn't shine.
It is Mickey Spillane's
Mickey Spillane. Yeah.
Mike Hammer. Yeah,
Mike Hammer.
of course.
Yeah.
Stacey Keach is Mike Hammer.
Stacey Keach is brilliant.
And it was one of those, they've never seemed to sort of done it since, that sort of style of stuff. Well, if they have, I haven't seen it. But it was that sort of old style private eye, sort of like, like Sleuth Dick sort of thing, And it was all double entendres and totally unpolitically correct, non-politically correct, whichever.
I know what you mean.
Like sexily clad women with breasts sticking out the top. But actually, it was dark. And it was deliberately dark, and there was dark humour in it, And I just remember really enjoying it at the time. Maybe because it got ladies with breasts in it, but
Maybe so. Maybe.
I hope this was before you were married.
Either side.
No, don't go there. Stop.
84 to 87.
Stop. But it's first. He basically is telling the story.
Yes.
So he's narrating the whole thing. So which I remember. The thing that's like it, and which is equally incredibly dark, is the 2 Sin City films, which are also narrated and are set at that same kind of time with Ava Green and Bruce Willis and quite a few other kind of famous actors in, but it's done in this kind of cartoony style, but that's first person narrated as well. And I think it makes it a really interesting watch, because it's like you're watching alongside the storyteller, rather than engaging with the person in the story. I remember it. I didn't watch many of them, but I remember enjoying, quote unquote, the ones that I did see.
There we go.
Yeah,
I'd forgotten all about that show. We did watch it. Did watch it.
So
But
I enjoyed it. It's one of those ones which just slips by if you
Stacey Keach, the name just stood out for me. Stacey
Now, of
Keach.
course, Stacey Keach was also in Jesus of Nazareth because everybody was. He was Barabbas.
Was he really? But you
probably
weren't put off by anything
probably more
else.
appropriate.
Yeah, well, yeah, quite. But
He's Tom Selleck's boss in Blue Bloods as well.
yes, he is.
Okay, right. So Mickey Spillane's my come up. Pete, over to you.
No, it's your go now, isn't it?
Is it?
Well, yeah, because
No,
we both
you,
did.
you go for it. Go on.
Oh no.
Then I
Right.
can do one after, and then we've had 3 each.
Okay, so my next choice ran from 1982 to 1988. It won the 1985 and 1986 Emmys for Outstanding Drama. One of the actors won Best Actress in a Drama in 83, 84, 85, and 88. And the other actress won Best Actress in a Drama in 86 and 87, thereby meaning that the entire show had a winning streak which was only been matched on one other occasion. So it literally won Emmys right through its entire run. And it is...
Can we guess?
Yeah.
Cagney and Lacey.
Cagney and Lacey. Yep.
Really? Okay.
Yep. Sharon Gless and Tyne Daly. But interestingly, and I did not know this, in the pilot show, the Sharon Gless character was played by Loretta Swit, who, as you will remember, was in Hot Lips in
Hot
MASH.
Lips in MASH, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Tyne Daly character for the first 6 episodes was played by somebody also very famous actress who's done lots of films, and that is Meg Foster. So the original series was the original stuff was Loretta Swit and Meg Foster.
Who's Meg Foster?
Meg Foster. She's a blonde actress.
Yeah, she was. Wasn't she in that thing with that bloke I can't stand, Tom Hanks?
No, that's Meg Ryan.
That's Meg. I say that's Meg Ryan.
All right, no, Meg Foster. Anyway, Meg Foster. Yeah,
I know Meg Foster. It's the one I'm thinking of. I just looked at a photo of her. She was in The Scarlet Letter. That doesn't mean much to me, to be honest. Ticket to Heaven, The Osterman Weekend.
Oh, The Osterman Weekend. That's right. I've got that on video. So yeah, The Osterman Weekend. That's a Robert Ludlum film or story. Anyway, so what I loved about Cagney and Lacey was the fact that, and again, it's very well written, but what I loved is the story, is the characters. So on the one hand, you got Sharon Gless as this kind of glamorous career woman, middle class, and then you'd got Tyne Daly as the married mother, and with her husband Harvey, who lived in Queens and were kind of from the other side of New York, but they just worked so well together. And I thought what I really liked about it was a buddy movie. It was a buddy cop movie, but it was girl buddies. So it was a twist on the Starsky and Hutch and Miami Vice and all of those other buddy cop movies, but just taken from a different angle. And I love Tyne Daly. I think she's a brilliant actress. She was fantastic in which of the Clint Eastwood Dirty Harry films was it? Wasn't Magnum Force? It was the next one. I can't remember. But she was brilliant in that as well. So I just think she's a really, really good actress, and I just thought that part was made for her, and I loved it. Watched every single episode.
She's a real New Yorker, isn't she? With her accent, yeah. I remember.
Oh, absolutely. Daly. Yeah.
Just looking up. Just New York. I'm just looking up the characters, and it all rings so many bells. All these different characters' names. Do you remember the lieutenant's name?
No, I just remember the two.
Lieutenant Samuels. But
Yeah.
you also had characters like LaGuardia. That rings a bell, and not just for the airport. Marcus Petrie. Yeah, that's just ringing bells. But I definitely watched Cagney and Lacey.
And her husband was Harvey, wasn't he?
Yeah, Harvey Lacey Jr. Sorry, Harvey Lacey
yeah, that's right.
Senior. But
Yeah,
I
and then the
presume
kid
there
was
was a
Harvey
young
Lacey Jr.
Harvey. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Oh, it's me then. Shall we stick to the? No, I'll tell you what, because you've mentioned it already. I'm going to mention it already as well. This ran from sneaked into the 80s. It actually started in the 70s. I'm including it. 72 through to 83.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have this one.
Multi-award winning show. Set in Korea.
MASH.
Oh,
MASH. You don't count MASH as 80s. I mean,
I
I started
had
watching
it
it
in
in
the
the
70s,
80s.
so I didn't include it again.
Yeah, it started in the 70s, well early in the 70s actually, but it was still running in the 80s. And I mean, it wasn't a watch. I doubt whether we watched it in the 70s. It was probably in the 80s we started watching it. But it's a magnificent show. I mean,
It was
it's a real ensemble cast. You mentioned Loretta Swit's in there as Hot Lips. Did you watch MASH? I assume. I thought everyone watched MASH.
I watched it. It was absolutely fantastic.
Hawkeye.
I watched it from time to time, but it wasn't something I watched regularly.
The only annoying thing about it was in America they had the canned laughter, didn't they? You hear it because when we went to the States, they had all the canned laughter when they. But of course, in the UK, we didn't. It was just the characters talking.
It's a drama. Yeah.
It's a drama, yeah. But it was like a broad comedy, but it was also like a tragic
It was very sad in
drama.
places. Very
It
sad.
was very sad, yeah. It was one of the highest viewed shows. The final episode in 83 was the most watched TV finale ever. And maybe until 2010. I don't know what took over from it, to be honest, but it's certainly, you had Hot Lips.
2010, that'll be West Wing.
Maybe it was West Wing. Well, it's too late for West Wing, wasn't it? 2010.
I thought West Wing was 2002 to 2010.
You might be right.
No, I'm just guessing.
But some of the characters, Klinger.
Oh, no, it'll be Friends.
Maybe it was Friends. No, whatever it was.
I'd have watched the last episode of Friends just to make sure it had finished.
You weren't a fan of Friends.
I
love Friends.
I absolutely hated it. I wanted to kill all of the cast.
Well, so some of it was just embarrassing, but some of it was very funny and very clever.
No, it does my head in. Absolutely hate it.
No, well, we're not talking about Friends because that's 90s. But yeah, MASH I put down because it was watched in the 80s, certainly in our place anyway. And it had a great theme tune as well. Coming back to the music again, which was a number one here as with singing on it. I think it was instrumental on the original show. But
that's Suicide is Painless, isn't it?
Suicide is Painless by the MASH got to number one. I don't think that could have been their real name, but yep. So MASH I've got. Who wants to go next? Doesn't matter who.
Is that me?
Go on then.
Okay, let's come back to England. 4 seasons. This is potentially the second best sitcom that there's ever been, I think. Except for the fact that Porridge is the best and always has been.
Yeah, right.
This is 4 seasons, around 83 to 89. You were talking about writing. This is immaculately written. Richard Curtis at his best, with Ben Elton eventually.
I know.
Go on.
What, Blackadder?
Blackadder, yeah. 4 completely different seasons, covering 4 different timelines. It's rude, it's funny, it's clever, it's incompetent, but the cast was just absolutely stellar. Atkinson was magnificent, and I'm not a big fan generally, but he was superb. Tony Robinson was as his
Aldrich.
foil was just superb. But
He's-
on top of that, there was Tim McKerney, darling, or McInerney, or whatever. however you pronounce it.
McInerney, yeah.
Fry, Laurie, Miranda Richardson, Rick Mail, Aid Edmondson, you know, and
Cast of
they were
thousands.
all in there just doing Richard Curtis and Ben Elton together, just like absolutely brilliant. I like the first season, which was actually written by Rowan Atkinson and
Rowan Atkinson and Richard Curtis, I think. Yeah.
and the last season clearly is a moment in time. The finale of the last season, where they all go over the top, is
Yeah.
just one of those moments. But here's a little thing for you. A quote from the series ranked number 3 in the list of the top 25 television put downs of the last 40 years,
Okay.
where it says this:
Must have involved
the
Baldrick.
eyes are open, the
Yeah.
mouth moves, but Mr. Brain has long since departed, hasn't he, Percy?
Yeah. Who was Percy? Was that McInerney?
That
by
was
any chance?
McInerney, yeah.
Okay.
So he was
Confession
one,
time.
He was darling in.
You'd
He
never
was
watched
darling in
Blackadder?
another.
I've seen bits of Blackadder,
Yeah.
but I've never watched an entire show ever.
Wow.
Well, okay. Partly this is because I don't do comedy, but no, in fairness, the things I mean that I have seen. I think the whole of that last episode where they go over the top, because I think I've used it in a training course at some point. But yeah, I mean, I love the characters, and I mean, you know, all of those actors are terrific. It's not one of those things I've ever got around to watching. Maybe like Back to the Future, I ought to kind of watch one. So I presumably you need to watch the first one first, because that's kind of where it all started.
You do. I mean, you could watch them independently, and you would still get the gist of the humour and the gist of the characters.
Yeah,
They're
sure.
all set in different. They're all set in different historical periods, aren't they? Yeah.
Well, so it's medieval. There's one which is kind of Queen Elizabeth, isn't there? And there's the First World War one. I don't know what the other one is.
The other one is Mad George.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Okay. Cool. I shall give it a watch.
Bob.
Bob.
Remember Bob?
I say Bob. Let's just call you Bob, shall we?
Bob.
Right.
Bob.
Pete, over to you.
Okay, I'm going this time with something which started in the 70s. It's 57 episodes, which ran from 1977 to 1983. And I absolutely loved it when it was on. It was absolutely compulsive viewing and compulsory viewing. And I got very, very annoyed if I missed it. And it is The Professionals.
Oh my word, yeah.
With Bodie and Doyle.
Bodie and
Martin
Doyle.
Shaw and Lewis Collins, plus of course the brilliant Gordon Jackson. Theme by Laurie Johnson. Oh, I didn't know this, but it's a Brian Clemens production. So it's Brian Clemens and Albert Fenelon. Didn't Brian Clemens was he Softly Softly? Or
Brian Clemens used to work with Ian Lafreniere or whatever.
Lafreniere, yeah. So was he also involved with Dad's Army? Maybe. Yeah. But anyway, but what I didn't know was that apparently Brian Clemens was the driving force behind the Avengers.
Oh, okay.
So and the Professionals is kind of like it's a follow-on from the idea of the Professionals from the 60s, but kind of gritted up, and it's sort of based around this fictional spy agency off books. So it's not MI5, is it MIC or I can't remember what they were called anyway. And of course, the great thing about the Professionals was they drove full Capris, and who didn't want to drive a Capri? So
I did drive a Capri.
I did drive a Capri as well. It was shockingly bad, but it was my Capri. But again, was it brilliantly scripted? Probably not. Was it compelling viewing because you really, really liked the characters? So they you knew that they wanted to do the right thing, but then they ended up never doing it because actually Bodhi got angry, and you're kind of having to be restrained by Doyle. But I just think, was it The Equalizer? Was that in the 80s or was that in the 70s? But again, it was that same kind of idea of this kind of person operating, doing their thing, and I loved it. So when I realised that was in the 80s, that was in my list.
Did you
It was
know
80s.
that whenever they filmed the two of them standing next to each other, Lewis Collins had to stand on a box because he's so short compared to Martin Shaw.
Really, I didn't know that.
Which one was Bodhi? I
Lewis Collins.
never really got into the professionals. Strangely,
Lewis Collins was Bodhi, and Doyle was Martin Shaw.
Was Doyle.
The Equalizer was 80s, 85.
We'll come to that in a minute, will we?
Oh, okay.
Right.
Sorry, I didn't realise.
Okay.
It suddenly flashed into my mind that I used to watch it and love it, and it made me think, it is kind of broadly similar. Okay,
This
good.
guy had something to do with the New Avengers as well, did he? Brian Clemens, maybe?
I'm assuming so. I'm assuming. I don't know, but I'm assuming.
I think that was in the 70s, actually.
But I mean, on BBC and ITV, he was all over everything at the time. So.
Right. Okay. I'm going to do this one. You mentioned earlier on the second best UK comedy, Jeff.
I did.
So, have you got the first one in your list? Then I presume you do.
That was Porridge, and I did that in the 70s.
Ah, right. Okay. Because I know Stinks won't like this one. I'm going for the show that ran from 81 through to 96. And it is Only Fools and Horses. I know Stinks is the one person on the planet, maybe in the UK anyway, that doesn't really, but he doesn't do comedies.
Okay, no. Let's just clean this up. Just clean this up.
Let's clean it up.
I used to watch Only Fools and Horses with Rowena and with the kids when it was on into the 90s, very, very regularly. And I kind of enjoyed it. What I don't accept is this deification of it as the greatest comedy, because there's just a lot of stuff from the 70s that was better, and actually quite a lot of stuff in the 80s that was better. So I don't dislike it. I quite like the characters. It made me laugh, but I don't have it on this pedestal that everybody else seems to.
Yeah, I think there are better comedies, but I did find it hilarious. And I mean, I'm not a great fan of the character of Rodney, actually. He's just doesn't really do it for me. But Del Boy, and the main force, of course, is Trigger.
Yeah.
Everything that Trigger is involved in.
Trigger and Boise.
Roger Lloyd Pack. Yeah, Boise and Marlene.
Boise. Yeah.
Boise.
But also Grandad.
Grandad, and then of course, well, he's another one that died during the
so they
filming of the series, so they had to bring Uncle Albert in.
Yeah,
some of the clips you see are just hilarious. When Uncle Albert is, for example, all these sea stories that were just made up, weren't they?
Yeah,
supposedly, and he was supposed to keep it a secret from Rodney when Rodney came in, because I think he's maybe split up with his girlfriend or something. So Del Boy says, "No, don't make him know that don't. When you find out, act surprised." And he's, how do I act surprised? And he's, well, like that, and he goes, like that. And then whenever he comes in, whatever Rodney says, he says something, and poor old Uncle Albert goes, like that. And Del was, no, not yet. And then he says something else. It's just, you have to see it, really. But a Trigger I just find hilarious. And the classic scenes, the chandeliers, I think it's a classic scene, it is.
Yeah.
And him leaning over the bar, being cool, looking at the girl opposite, and someone lifts up the
that is...
Be cool, Trig, be cool.
That is comedy gold. That is
comedy gold. How many people refer to something as Trigger's broom as if it's now part of the culture of the world?
Yes.
Well, yeah, I mean, Trigger's broom is like Marmite. It's like everybody talks about it. It's one of those really weird things. But I mean, yeah, it's brilliant.
And the fact he gets Rodney's...
I didn't like it particularly.
When it's out?
Only because David Jason used to really frustrate me and annoy me. because he has that embarrassing style of comedy that I
which you
can't
don't
cope with.
like. No.
And the rest, I used to think Trigger was just brilliant. Roger Lloyd Pack is just
Roger Lloyd Pack.
and
Beast,
I quite like Rodney, but I just wanted to punch Del Boy the whole time.
Fair enough.
Was Rodney in
Nicholas Lyndhurst?
He was in Butterflies.
he was in Butterflies with Wendy Craig, wasn't he? In the 70s. Yeah.
And Chris Marshall. Wasn't Chris Marshall in that as well?
No, Chris Marshall was in my class at school.
No, Chris Marshall, who's in Death in Paradise, and he was in Love Actually as well, the one that goes off to the States.
Oh yeah.
That's
he was.
Chris Marshall.
Yeah.
I think him. Oh, maybe it wasn't. Maybe Chris Marshall. Forget that. I think Chris Marshall was in another sitcom with the guy that played Citizen Smith.
Yes, he was.
My Family.
Our House.
My Family.
My Family, not Our House.
My Family. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, I've gone for Only Fools and Horses. It's got to be done. Which means, we'll go you, Pete, and go.
Okay, so I'm going with a 136 episode thing which ran from 1982 to 1987 and was based on a book by Christopher Gore. And it followed the lives of the students and faculty at the New York City High School of Performing Arts. And it is Fame.
I'm going
and I absolutely loved Fame. That was the one where at the end of a working day at Cadbury's, I'd come home, sit down with a curry and a bottle of bull's blood and watch Fame. And it was, and I loved the characters, Debbie Allen as, Lydia Grant as Debbie Allen, Lee Carreri as Bruno Martinelli, Erica Gimple playing Coco Hernandez, who was obviously, the one who was the link back to Irene Cara, and then Albert Haig as Sharovsky, who was the professor, and then Carlo Imperato as Danny Amatullo. They were I loved the storylines. I loved the music. I guess what I liked was the fact that it was so alive and believable, and I kind of like the idea that kids with talent from poor backgrounds get an opportunity in a place like that to be more than they would have been if they didn't have that opportunity. You know what I mean? They were given the opportunity to go and be part of that program, and just created some brilliant stuff. And it was well written. There were good stories. What I didn't know was that the fact it was massively popular in the UK, more popular in the UK than it was in the States. And I didn't know that what that meant was that it led to quite a few hit records and also live concert tours by the cast, which I don't remember at all. But I have very, very vivid memories of sitting on the beaten up old sofas that we got from Grandma and Grandad, the German side of the family, sitting in our back room in Hoylake on this telly that we got from, I can't remember whether it was Mum and Dad or whether it was from Tony and Barbara, but we got this colour telly perched up on the corner in this room and watching Fame on it, and it's a really, really vivid memory, and I loved it, absolutely loved it. Still, if I see it when it's on YouTube or whatever now, I'll always watch a bit of it because it's just fun.
Okay, not me at all. Fame. I didn't. Was that Saturday tea time? It was on around that sort of area?
No. It was the week.
When Wednesday night or something.
I really enjoyed Fame. I thought what they managed to do was to turn what was a very dark and painful film into a pseudo family series that still worked.
Yeah.
And I thought they did that very well.
It's almost like, I think, Sister Act 2, which is the one set in the high school in San Francisco, it's almost the same kind of idea where you've got these kids who've got these talents and you just need someone to bring the talent out of them and make something of themselves. I just think it's a feel-good story, and you're right. The original thing was very dark.
It was painful.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And yeah, you're right. They did make it into something else, but they were just good. They were good characters. It was good fun. Enjoyed it.
Okay, Jeffrey.
Well, as we've been there, we might as
Yep.
well stay there, might we? Are the odds against you? Call the Equalizer.
Yeah.
4 seasons, 85 to 89. Noted, and I'm quoting, noted as an American dark, gritty action crime drama. Okay. I don't remember it being that dark, that gritty, or that full of action. And I didn't know it was American. I thought it was English because Edward Woowa is English to the core.
He is indeed.
But there you go. But he was this mysterious intelligent agent with a past that no one was quite certain about, working for an organisation called The Agency that no one was quite certain about. And then he went on his own, and no one was quite certain why, because he was too old and couldn't really do anything, but he did. And there were lots of gadgets. There was, all sorts of little James Bondy type stuff in it. And he drove a Jag, and he had a lot of weapons. And there was an awful lot of musicians in it. Did you know that? So David Johansen, New York Dolls, was in it. Adam Ant was in it. Meatloaf was in it. Adam Horowitz was in it. Beastie Boys. Some girlie called, that's terrible, I didn't mean it like that. Some lady called Vitamin C, who I've never even heard of, but apparently she was in it. Ashford and Simpson were in it, and astoundingly, John Cale from the Velvet Underground was in it.
That is weird.
So it clearly got a lot of people to do. It was one of those things where you go, I'd like this to be real. I'd like there to be somebody out there that did this. Because it would be right and proper in a kind of like non-right and proper way,
Yeah.
2 things then. Vitamin C. Didn't she sing with orange juice?
Hey, see what you did there?
Make
Very
it
good.
go away.
Secondly, did they not do a reboot of this series in the last
they've
5 or
done
6
3
years?
films with Denzel Washington.
Yeah, and actually, the 3 films, the first one is very, very good, and the second one is all right, and the third one's all right, but the first one is very good.
Yeah,
I've
the
seen
first one was really
I've seen
good,
all the Equalizer films, and Denzel does a good job of being a kind of updated version of that character. Yeah, for sure.
Except that
Okay.
he's American and Edward Woodward was English.
And Edward Woodward was so good they named him 3 times.
They did.
Yeah.
That's like the old joke, isn't it? What do you call a man with a wood on his head? Edward. What about a man with 3 wits of wood on his head? Yeah, Edward Woodward.
Anyway,
Right,
there you go,
I'm
the
sure
Equalizer.
both
What
of
do you
you.
call a woman with a pint of beer balancing on her head while she makes an ashtray out of clay?
Go on, then,
We're
tell
going
us.
to regret this.
Beatrix Potter.
Oh, God. The only thing I thought of was Potter. I thought, what? Beatrix Potter. Dear, oh dear.
Okay.
I can only apologise, listeners and viewers, for the dad jokes that are coming out today. This is a show coming up that ran. Actually, there were 2 series separately. There was like a sequel to it. It was all in the 80s. So 80 to 84 was the first series. Then it came back 86 to 88. And I'd be very surprised if at least one of you didn't think this was a brilliantly written comedy series, even though Stinks hates sitcoms. Yes, Minister, and yes, Prime Minister.
I forgot that
all about it.
completely.
Yes, Minister, and yes, Prime Minister. They were both in the 80s.
Superb.
Yeah, I thought you might
it's
like that
not
one.
on my list because I forgot completely about Yes Minister.
But it's amazing. You can't remember them all, can you? I was hoping that some would come up. I thought, oh, yeah, like Mickey Spillane's Mike Hammer. I thought, I'd forgotten all about that. But yeah, class, wasn't it? Yes, Minister was absolute
brilliant.
class.
Absolutely brilliant.
Fabulous.
And when he got Prime Minister job as well in 86, I mean, Humphrey as the permanent secretary, Sir Humphrey, and of course his permanent No, he's principal private secretary, wasn't it? Do you remember his name?
Bernard.
Yeah, Derek Foles was the actor, and the
Derek
character
Foles was Bernard.
Bernard. That's the one, Bernard.
Yeah.
So how many
Uh,
honestly, how many times did you see Bernard appear and expect Basil Brush to follow him?
I know.
Yes.
It was funny that Mr. Bernard, Mr. Derek, sorry, Mr. Derek.
Mr.
Yeah,
Derek,
it would be on Yes Minister. It would have been Mr. Bernard.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just thought it's spectacularly well written, and you sort of almost hoped that was real life, didn't you? What was actually happening in
Well, I suspect much of it is
politics.
I was going to say, I suspect some of it is. And what's really interesting is if you watch, and I mean, I see clips of it regularly on YouTube for various things, and it's so well written. It's current. It's written in it's written in such a way that you can go, oh blimey, they were talking about this 40 years ago, and this is happening now. It's absolutely brilliant. I'm really annoyed that I forgot Yes Minister. What a fantastic show! But you see, that didn't feel like a sitcom. That felt
maybe not, but it was a sitcom.
But because it was so well written, and because it was kind of about politics, which obviously I did, then for me it was the humour in politics rather than it being a sitcom. It was, it was brilliant.
I've played a few clips actually on the show. I mean, the classic quote. I'm just reading it all because I couldn't remember it all. When Hacker is reading the newspapers.
Oh yeah,
the classic scene.
That's what
I know exactly who reads the newspapers. The Daily Mirror is read by people who think they run the country.
Yeah.
The Guardian is read by people who think they ought to run the country. The Times is read by the people who actually do run the country. The Daily Mail is read by the wives of the people who run the country. The Financial Times is read by people who own the country. The Morning Star is read by people who think the country ought to be run by another country. And the Daily Telegraph is read by people who think it is. What about the Sun? Well, the Sun readers don't care who runs the country as long as he's got big tits. It's an absolute classic. Absolute classic line.
It's literally one of the best bits of scripting ever. It's so funny. It's just brilliant.
And that was Yes Minister and Yes Prime Minister, of course, with Paul Eddington, who was previously in The Good Life, was he not? In the 70s.
He was that as well.
Penelope Keith.
With Margot, Penelope Keith, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
right, so that's fine. We're going to have to whiz through the last few. I don't know whether we'll get them all in, but let's go for it.
We've got half an hour. Right, yeah, okay. So I'm doing something which runs from 1982 to 1993, 11 seasons, 275 episodes.
American?
Yes.
Comedy?
Yes.
Cheers?
Yes.
Brilliant. That's one of mine as well. That'll save us time.
Right, so we've all got Cheers. I absolutely loved it. What I love most about Cheers is the fact that it's just a galaxy of actors, and you go, oh, they were in it and they were in it. I'd forgotten that Woody Harrelson was in it, but you know, so Kirstie Alley, Kelsey Grammer, who obviously they did the spin-off then of Frasier, even though he's a bit of a maggery twat. George Wendt, and yeah, that's right. Rhea Perlman, who I think is she married to Danny DeVito?
Danny DeVito, yeah. We saw Rhea Perlman at Knott's Berry Farm in Los Angeles on our honeymoon, actually, in 1988. And she was pushing, I didn't see Danny DeVito. She was pushing a pushchair. Well, unless Danny DeVito was in the pushchair.
He was in the pushchair.
He could be in the pram. I don't know. A stroller. Sorry, the stroller.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry to interrupt you.
No, Shelley Long, Ted Danson, and I mean that the song, the Gary Portnoy song, "Where Everybody Knows Your Name," which was created by Glenn and Les Child and James Burrows. For me, it was perfection, and one of the great pleasures of my working life was doing 3 gigs in Boston and being able to go and sit in the Cheers bar, take the photograph outside the Cheers bar, and it's not really the Cheers bar, but it's kind of like the outside is,
The
and then when
outside
you
is,
get
yeah.
inside, it's a bar, and obviously the bar is in a studio. But just to go in there and it all be the Cheers memorabilia and the gear and the food, I absolutely loved it. Again, it was so well written. You really engaged with the characters, the postman, just the whole thing. It was just like your local pub, but in America. And I thought the Ted Danson character was terrific. So lovely, brilliant series.
Brilliant. I've got a few clips of those that I play occasionally as well. John
Yeah.
Ritzelberger, wasn't he? He was the postie.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
He also played Ham in Toy Story.
He plays everything. He plays Ham in Toy Story. He plays Light McQueen's Laurie in
Cars.
Cars. He's in so many Disney things that they take the mick out of. He takes the mick out of himself for being in another one.
All right.
It's really quite funny.
I think
one of its
did we all have Cheers?
We all had Cheers. Yeah.
Right.
I think one of its appeals is being the age that we all were. Appreciate you a bit older. It's kind of we'd like to live like that.
Yes.
We would like a place where we can all go after work and everybody knows who you are.
Yeah.
And you sit and you have a chat, and then you go home and like you kind of somewhere just to download on the way.
Yeah.
Norm. What's up? What's up, Norm? What's up, Norm? My nipples. It's freezing out there. He goes. Right. Cheers for all of us. Oh, nice.
Right.
That'll be nice.
What's your next one then, Cole?
Me? All right. I'll stick to the comedy, shall I? It's an American one though. Ran from 74 to 84, and it was about life in the 50s and 60s.
Happy days.
Happy days, yeah. With the Fonz and Richie Cunningham. And
was it Richie's sister who was about 45 when she made it, but looked about 12?
Richie's sister, was that Erin? No, was it Erin? I can't remember.
I don't know what her name was now. But the actress was like well old.
I can't remember her name. Unlike in Cheers, where they obviously remember.
I was just about to say if she was in Cheers, you wouldn't have done.
We would have remembered it. But yeah, Scott Baio. Obviously, Henry Winkler's in there as well. And it was set in a cafe, wasn't it? Al's Cafe?
Yeah, Big Al's Cafe.
I think it was Al's Cafe. Let's look at a character name. I'm going to have to find a character name. Oh, Potsy. That was a nice character name, wasn't it? Potsy. Marion Cunningham. That was Cunningham. That's Marion Ross. Tom Bosley was Howard Cunningham, Richie's dad. Tom Bosley was the voice of, I don't think this was an 80s. Maybe it was an 80s show, actually. The voice of Charlie in Charlie's Angels on the...
Really?
Oh,
yeah, on the desk.
70s more than 80s, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was probably 70s, but that was he was originally doing the voice for that. It was Erin Moran who was the actor, Joni Cunningham.
That's it.
Maybe that's the one you're thinking of. Yeah. But yeah, I just thought it was fun. And of course, my jacuzzi partner appeared in a few episodes as Leather Tuscadero towards the end. And they did a great video, bring you back to music again, for the Weezer single Buddy Holly, which they filmed, and they cleverly made it appear like they were performing in an Al's cafe or bar, whatever it was, restaurant, with all the characters in the background.
It was like an ice cream parlour sort of thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, maybe it was, or a pizza parlour, maybe. I don't know.
I've got to be honest, it's another show that I've hardly seen anything of. I mean, I've seen probably half a dozen episodes, and interestingly, Henry Winkler, if you kind of tweet him, he quite often replies to you. So I've had a couple of
good things.
Twitter chats with Henry Winkler. He's a good guy.
Hey,
yeah.
Jeff,
should we stick with the comedy?
Yeah, go on.
Squeezing this in. This came in at the end of 1988. This started. It actually ran for 12 series into the 90s, and this is Red Dwarf.
Oh,
so this do you remember Red Dwarf?
I remember Red Dwarf, but is that the one with
Craig Charles in it?
Craig Charles, who's a far better actor than he was DJ. Craig Barry was Rimmer, who was a hologram.
Yeah, that's right.
And then Dwayne out of Death in Paradise was the cat, who used to be an actual cat and was then made into a human cat. Crichton, the sanitizer, the one with all the square face. And the best person in the show, in my opinion, was Holly, who was a computer. She was just brilliant. It's a weird little thing that should never have made it. It should never have run for as long as it did. But it was just really well written and ever so funny in places.
It was one of those things. It was one of those things that became a cult.
Absolutely.
It more. I think almost to the point where the cult of the show outgrew what the show was. It's another one of those ones where I've seen a few episodes and enjoyed them, but I never watched it. And I've not seen even a tenth of the output from it. But what I've watched, I've enjoyed.
And it's another one that's got to a point where there's a phrase in it which has become part of the national word heritage, or whatever you call it, sentence heritage, which is actually in the theme tune, where it says, "We're all alone. There's no kind of atmosphere." The people say we're all alone. I'm all alone. There's no kind of atmosphere. It's like one of those things that's now just said as part of the phraseology of life.
A bit like the Etihad Stadium. The Etihad Stadium, maybe. A bit like the Etihad Stadium, perhaps.
Yes.
Yes.
The
library.
No atmosphere at all.
Yeah. Right, okay.
Anyway, there you go.
So, I'm choosing something which was broadcast in 25 countries, low budget, dystopian themes, very strong characters, and pessimistic with ambiguous morality.
Good Lord.
But an enormous sense of fun. 4 seasons, ran from December 78 to December 1981. And I saw every single episode and couldn't wait for the next one to be broadcast. Created by Terry Nation, with a theme by Dudley Simpson, and it was on the BBC.
Terry Nation, he was a Doctor Who guy, wasn't he?
He was. Blake 7.
Talking about computers, I was thinking of that when Jeff was talking about a computer.
Yeah.
In Blake 7.
Blake 7. And, Blake as this kind of dissident against the Federation, Keir Avon, Villa Restal, Jenna Stannis, Callie, the alien guerrilla fighter. It was. I think all of it was shot in a sandpit in Dorset. It was. It was very low budget, but really compelling. And I loved this kind of dystopian pessimism, and certainly Blake themselves. And there was a lot of it where you think, do you really trust these people? Do you trust them as individuals? Do you trust them to do the right thing? And the answer was probably no. But I absolutely loved it, and it was one of those ones where kind of sat down in the evening and went, oh yeah, it's Blake 7, I can't wait. And if it had been in the modern era, then it's one of those things you would have watched 100 times on catch up, because it was just really, really compelling. I don't know if you can still get it now, but I would love to watch it again.
I would imagine it would look incredibly dated now, don't you think?
Absolutely. Yeah, of course.
It'd be like Doctor Who with the shaking walls and stuff.
And Crossroads.
I've never seen it.
What was the computer's name? Do you remember?
I can't remember.
Was that Zen? Was that?
It might have been Zen. You should watch it.
Aurak?
Maybe. I don't remember. I just remember I really liked the Blake character, and the girl, which of those I can't remember she was, but she was kind of quite the strong character in there. And then the kind of the alien guerrilla fighter was
the smuggler. She was a smuggler, wasn't she?
She was a smuggler. Yeah, that's right.
Jenna.
That's right. Yeah. But anyway, terrific series. Really enjoyed it. low budget, bit of fun.
Okay. Oh, does that mean it's me?
Yep.
What you
All
got,
right. This
Carl?
is a show that ran from. How long we got? We got about 20 minutes. This is a show that ran 87 to 94. I don't know whether or not either of you are Trekkies.
Not particularly.
I
watch it.
I watched most of the season, the stuff that you're going to talk about. The first one was superb. The first series was superb, the original series, but it's just so bad budget and so bad acting in parts. But so you're talking second generation, yeah?
I'm talking the Next Generation, yeah, which ran from 87 through to 94,
Yeah.
but and it's set
I
a
quite liked
century
it.
after the original. I think the one where they changed the intro to boldly, well, apart from the split infinitive, which is still there, to boldly go to where no one has gone before, as opposed to where no man has been before, wasn't it? I think on the original William Shatner Star Trek show, which is another good show. I probably didn't watch that in the 60s, actually. I probably watched it in the 70s.
70s,
yeah.
But Next Generation really got into it.
Watched it in the 60s and 70s, loved it. I thought it was great.
But the characters, again, I think you get invested with the characters. As Peter said, or maybe Jeff did as well, when you get invested with the characters, you know it's not real, but you know, Captain Picard, you've got Riker, you've got Data.
Brilliant.
And of course, the well-known Spurs
everybody's voice has disappeared.
Deanna Troi. Who's disappeared?
Oh, yeah.
Can't hear a thing. Everybody's gone.
I can hear you.
Well, I can hear you too.
How weird.
Yep. No, can't hear you.
Oh, should we just carry on?
We'll just carry on with that,
shall we? No, you're back now. No, you're back. All good.
That's weird. Yeah, I'm saying the well-known Tottenham fan, Deanna Troi, played by... Oh, what's her name?
Yeah, she was in The Wicked Lady. She was in the film The Wicked Lady.
It was on Twitter as well.
She's a Greek girl, Greek name.
Yes. Marina Sirtis.
Marina Sirtis.
Or Sirtis, or something like that. Yeah.
Big Tottenham fan. And she was
Tottenham fan, yeah.
She was in The Wicked Lady, which was about the highway woman who worked out of the farm just outside of Dunstable, between Dunstable and Red Cow Farm.
Of all the Star Trek series, I think this is my favourite one, actually. I think they had the hot introduction of the holodeck as well, which was amazing.
Which was cool.
It was pretty cool. I mean, we watched the one after as well with the Captain Janeway, the lady captain.
Yeah, with Wesley.
Voyager, which was in a different quadrant or something, in a Delta quadrant as opposed to whatever. And Enterprise we watched as well. And there's so many of them. There's another, I don't know, newish one, a Brave New World or something, I think it's at the moment. But right. Star Trek Next Generation I've gone for. Probably watched all of the episodes. Sam still watches it. Our youngest watches all the episodes all the time now. I think he's really loves it too. So Next Generation Star Trek.
Right, Jeff,
I've still got 3 left. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. But we'll go through.
I've only got 2 because of doubling up. So
let me just whiz through this one because this one's really quick.
Yep.
Predictable plot lines, awful acting, really badly written, but a talking car.
You're selling it to me. Knight Rider. Knight Rider.
Knight Rider. Like, who didn't love Knight Rider? It was brilliant. Like, it was crap from beginning to end. But Kit, like, we all wanted Kit. Everybody wanted a Kit. There you go. That's all I've got to say.
David Hasselhoff.
Yeah, he's awful. I mean, he's awful in everything, but like, he was even awful
but he can sing. Bring it to music again.
Really? Can he?
Well, really? I didn't say it sing very well. Huge in Germany, yes.
Everybody can sing.
huge in Germany, he was, wasn't he?
Was he? Well, he was huge.
I won't go there. Yeah, right. Okay, so Knight Rider.
Knight Rider.
Oh, do you want to do your others as well quickly, or do you want Pete to come in?
Can do.
Yeah, go on then. While we're there.
I'm surprised you haven't done this one yet, Cole.
I might do.
4 seasons, 83 to 87.
83 to 87.
Hannibal, Faceman, BA.
Oh, the A-Team, yeah, it was definitely on my
Only
list.
Only Mad Murdoch.
Yeah.
Oh, blimey, we watched all of those. I'd forgotten the 18 completely.
Could do
18.
anything, use anything, get away with anything. They never shot anybody in the whole season.
No.
All the series, no one ever got shot. No one ever got killed. They were a complete waste of space, really. But again, in the same way as not, it was just brilliant watching.
Yeah, I'd forgotten completely about the 18, but I remember watching it with the elder kids when they were kind of like 7, 8, and they loved it. Daniel and they loved it. I mean, everybody did.
It was blowing things up and driving through. Yeah, and BA having to get injected to get on a plane.
Get on a plane, yeah.
Like ridiculous notions of madness. But compulsive watching, you couldn't not watch it.
You're right, no one ever died. It's been on Thunderbirds. No one ever died on Thunderbirds, are they? You notice that?
No. Well, death's unacceptable, isn't it?
I suppose as a kid.
Until you're dead.
Do you want my last one as well, then, while I'm here?
It would have been cheap on Thunderbirds when they're dead because they wouldn't need any strings, would they? Just leave it.
There were no strings attached to that one.
No. Right, what's your last one then?
I don't know if I'm allowed this. This started in 1987 and went through to year 2000.
Well, it started in the 80s. Have you watched it? Yeah.
And I suspect still one of the most iconic television programs ever. 8 seasons. John Thor, Kevin Watley.
Morse.
Oh, Morse. Yeah.
Who drove a Jag, of course. But
there's a theme developing here.
It was clever. It was well acted. It was well written. Twisting stories. All beautifully crafted. There was never any vulgarity in it. Choral music, classic cars, proper beer,
and set in
murders.
Oxford. And murders in Oxford. Well, we've all thought about it, haven't we? Isn't that where David Cameron went?
Well, yeah, the entire Tory government. So yeah, could have taken the entire lot.
Did you know? I'm sure you did know this. That on quite a lot of them, the whodunit is played at the beginning in Morse code.
I did not know this.
I did not know this either.
Generally, the beginning of the show which starts in Morse code, usually spells Morse. So the actual the rhythm of the Morse of the thing is the word Morse in Morse code. But on not an infrequent basis, the guy who wrote the music, whose name escapes me at the moment, I haven't written it down.
Barrington something.
I believe you.
Yeah.
Put in who the culprit was in Morse code at the beginning.
Wow.
That is interesting.
That is freaky.
Now, I know my mum and dad used to watch that religiously, Inspector Morse. I'm not sure whether I did. It's strange because it's probably the sort of thing I would like. I'd never watched Midsummer Murders either. When was that? I don't know when that was. Still going now, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was John Nettles, wasn't it? That was after.
Yeah, it was.
Bergerac
after Bergerac. Yeah, I watched Bergerac, but I didn't watch Midsummer Murders. I watched Death in Paradise, and all the detectives go. I don't know, so many murders on this tiny island.
I know.
They just move. What they just.
But
keep
you still
going.
want to go. You still want to go there, don't you?
They go and live a place called Midsummer, just to get away from the hassle. Become a detective there. But yeah, Inspector Morse, good shout.
Okay,
John Thor.
So
what's a Sweeney? 80s or was that 70s?
That was
70s.
Talking to John Thor and Dennis Waterman, of course.
Reminder.
Right, Pete.
Okay, so I've got two. The first one, they're both American. The first one, the theme music is by Bob James, the great Bob James, jazz pianist. It ran in the States. It ran from 78 to 83, but in the UK it ran from 80 to 85. 114 episodes, and it is Taxi.
Oh, what a great show!
Which I absolutely loved. Judd Hirsch is Alex Reiger. Jeff Conaway as Bobby Wheeler. Marilu Henner, who didn't love Marilu Henner, as Elaine Nardo. Tony Danza as Tony Banter. Christopher Lloyd, your friend, as the Reverend Jim Ignatowski.
A weird character.
Yeah, they were the drivers. And then, of
Yeah.
course, you got Danny DeVito as Louis De Palma, the dispatcher, who was
Yes.
brilliant.
Yes.
And then my favourite character of the lot was Andy Kaufman as
Yeah.
Lack Gravus,
Yes.
the guy who was the
What a great
mechanic.
show that was.
Oh, it was
So
just so good. It was
Did
just
you just say, was Danny DeVito in it? Did you just say?
yes, he
Yeah.
was the
He was
dispatcher.
dispatcher or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the booth, wasn't he?
Yeah, in the booth. Yeah, and it was just so well done. They were always. It was. I mean, one of the very few comedies where it was laugh for me. It was laugh out loud. The scripting was fantastic, and I just loved the characters. All of them. You kind of went. You like their stories. You like the way that things went wrong. You like the way they went together. And for me, Andy Kaufman held the whole thing together as the mechanic. He was just brilliant. And music show. Bob James. My final one, I'm going risky here. This ran from 1984 to 1992, 201 episodes. And this is by a gentleman who is now not very well regarded, to put it mildly.
Cosby Show.
The Cosby Show.
Cosby
It
Show,
was
yeah.
brilliant. It was
a great show.
funny.
We watched the Cosby Show religiously. The kids absolutely loved it, and again, they were just such brilliant characters. The Huxtables, this upper middle class Brooklyn obstetrician married to a lawyer, so they got everything into them, and they were a great cast. Cliff, Cosby playing Cliff, and
Never mind Lisa Bonnet. Like nothing else matters.
No, exactly. Well, I was just going to get to that. Lisa Bonnet as Denise, and Sabrina LaBeouf as Sandra, and Keisha Knight Pullman as Rudy, and Tempest Bledsoe. I mean, what a great name. I mean, why wouldn't you want to call your child Tempest as Vanessa? It was just brilliantly, brilliantly written. It was funny. It was warm. It was family. And it... Yeah,
and Lisa Bonnet.
And Lisa Bonnet, yeah, we got that one. Yes, and Lisa Bonnet. But for all of the things that have come out since, it doesn't take away from the fact that it was just a brilliantly scripted, brilliantly acted, warming family story, and I loved it. And I know that he's not now particularly popular for various very reasonable reasons. But that doesn't take away from the fact that the Cosby Show was a bloody good 1980s series. It was.
Okay, I agree. Yeah, I loved it. We used to watch it religiously.
And Lisa Bonnet.
Yeah, I thought you might. I thought you might be mentioning.
You might say that. Okay. Who was the son? Who played the son?
Like Lisa Bonnet?
Who played the son?
Malcolm Jamal Walker.
He's the one that died recently.
Yeah, he died.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay. Right. I'll be quick here then. I mean, this amazingly, we never watched it at the time. Maybe we caught a little bit of a sneaky bit of it in the late 80s. I don't really know. Maybe, but it only had 6 episodes in 1982, and then it was cancelled. But it led in to a series of films that came out. It was the first appearance of the police detective Frank Drebin, played by Leslie Nielsen, and it was called Police Squad.
It was
with an exclamation mark,
which then led to the Naked Gun.
To the Naked Gun shows. Brilliant. Zucker, the two Zuckers and Abrahams, I think they did it on the back of Kentucky Fried Movie and Airplane.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just great. So many great one-liners in that, as there are in the Naked Gun. You have to keep watching it really just to see. It's got a bit of a cult following, the Police Squad. I'll play a few clips from it. It was before someone else that's not particularly frowned upon, not particularly liked these days. Although, is he still alive? O.J. Simpson, is he still alive? Has he died?
He died recently, didn't he?
He did, yeah. He played Norberg,
Yeah.
but it was played by a guy called Peter Lupus in the Police Squad series, and the Captain Ed was played by Alan North, who was later in the Naked Gun films, played by George Kennedy. So Police Squad I'm going for because it's started all the run of great shows. I've got so many others I could go for, and I don't know which genre to go for. Pick a genre.
Drama.
Drama.
Pick
Okay.
a different genre.
You don't like drama?
We've done a
Oh,
lot. We've done a lot of comedy, and we've done a lot
We
of
have done
police
a lot of
stuff.
comedy, and I'd like to mention Soap. Actually, that was a great sitcom. Do you ever see Soap?
It was, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
vaguely.
I do.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
Do you remember
Confused?
was
You will be.
Moonlight in the 80s as well?
Which one?
Moonlighting.
Moonlighting is another one I've got on my list. Yeah, I've got about 3 or 4 that I could mention. Moonlighting was one,
Who was
and the
in
one with
Moonlighting?
Moonlighting was Bruce Willis
and
what's her name?
The girl. Who was the girl?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying.
Maddie.
Sybil Shepherd was her name.
Sybil Shepherd.
Yeah. I could have gone hello, hello, which was hilarious as well. On the back of yeah, that was the 80s.
Oh, it was. I'd forgotten.
84 through to 92.
Watched
Sort of parody.
It watched that religiously as well. That was another one which we sat down and watched every single episode. Loved
Parody
it.
of Secret Army, which is a great show in the 60s.
You remember Boone?
I do remember Boone with Michael Elphick. Yeah. I remember that. Another one we watched was Remington Steele, which had Pierce Brosnan in it. That's how he got his James Bond role from that show.
Who was the girl with him?
The girl was Stephanie Zimbalist.
Yeah, that's right.
Something like that. Anyway, I don't know, but Stephanie was her name anyway.
Yeah.
A show we did love, before I come on to the one I've chosen, and did you want a kind of drama-y one? A show that ran from 87 to 91, loved it, was called 30 something. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Well, it was just like a group of baby boomers in their 30s in Philadelphia. They had Elliot Weston, the character, which was Timothy Busfield, appeared in The West Wing as the reporter guy. Peter Horton, who played Gary Shepherd. Ken Olin, who was another character in Hill Street Blues. He played Michael Stedman. He's married to the Mel Harris character, Hope Murdoch. Great show that was. Again, you wanted to be part of that. You were jealous of having like a group of friends like that. I remember at the time thinking, oh, that was sort of an American thing.
But
they used to talk about things with one another.
Yeah,
they used to talk about things all the time. I ask Americans now, and they say no, they don't do. They don't talk to one another about things that really matter. But no, this was a great show. I'm going to plump for a show that ran from 86 to 94. And I'll just say what it is and see whether you liked it. It was called L.A. Law.
Superb.
You liked it.
Corbin Bernstein.
Corbin Bernstein, Harry Hamlin.
Yeah.
Gillian Brie, Jimmy Smits, who again went on to star in The West Wing. Susan Day. Susan Day, who was in. Was he The Partridge Family with David Cassidy? I think it was his sister.
Was she the mum?
No, sister.
No. The mum was Shirley Jones.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, Shirley.
Who was in Carousel, amongst other things, in the 50s.
Yeah,
Blair Underwood. John Spencer also went on to appear in The West Wing as the character. What's his name? God, what's his character's name? He's
he was
Chief of Staff. Chief of Staff, the one that died, John Spencer.
Yeah.
What was his character's name in
Leo?
Leo McGarry. That's it. God, going mad here. Also, who else was in it? So many characters, but it was quite sort of. They were looking into social issues at the time. There's a lot of focus on the fact that they're really wealthy lawyers, and the sort of, and then they're less, shall we say, less well paid staff. That one got quite a lot, but they talked about all sorts of stuff like capital punishment and abortion and racism, homophobia, sexual harassment, HIV, AIDS, domestic violence. Maybe that wasn't talked about so much in the 80s, but it was quite a swish, fancy show, wasn't it? Well, I suppose it's based in Los Angeles, so
yes, it's very glam.
It was quite glam, but I loved the show. That's my last one then, if I can.
No one's mentioned Howard's Way, thankfully.
No, I'll tell you one I haven't mentioned, but
you just did. Watch it. I thought we got away with it.
Did watch religiously, and it was a soap that ran. I'll tell you when it was. EastEnders started in '85, actually, and I still watched that. Amazingly, we had gaps though, and I'm sure that we watched it all in the '80s. No, this ran from '78 to '91. American, affluent, feuding Texas family.
Oh, Dallas.
Dallas, yes, as it's well known.
I
Yeah, I love Dallas. But what
forgot.
was that all
well, I
about the
haven't forgot.
dream when Bobby Ewing died at the end of one series, and he wasn't in the entire series, the next one, and then at the end of the series he turned up in the shower, and it was all in a dream. How they worked that one out, I really don't
That's
know.
because the ratings went down, didn't it?
Yeah, the
Oh,
ratings
is that
went down.
why it was?
ratings went down
Yeah,
for
you're
Jordan
probably
back.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Patrick was his name, wasn't it? Patrick the actor.
Well, so
He's come
was
back.
Patrick Dempsey.
He's
No,
come back.
what was the
Patrick.
one? What was the one with Joan Collins in, which followed on
That
from
was
that? Dynasty.
Well, it was Dynasty, but they call it Dynasty over in the
Yeah, that's
States.
right. But was that also the 80s, or was that into the 90s?
Yeah,
I think that was. I think that was the 90s. That's Stephanie Beacham.
probably the '90s because Dallas finished in '91, according to this. So Dynasty probably, came after that.
Right.
But yeah, so many that we could have mentioned. I know, so many '80s shows. Some others here. Fall Guy. Do you ever watch those?
Yeah, Lee Majors.
Lee Majors.
Lee Majors. No, there's a Heart to Heart with
Stephanie Beacham.
He used to go to bed.
No, Stephanie
full-
Powers. Stephanie
go to
Beacham
bed
was
fully
in
made up
Dynasty.
and wake up fully made up.
Yeah.
That's the one. Incredible Hulk. I love the end theme to that, actually. The real slow one. Quantum Leap.
With,
Quantum
what
Leap was
was
the
the actor
90s,
in
surely.
Was it? I've got it written down here. It must have started in the '80s. Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah.
I thought the Dukes of Hazzard was the 70s.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it ran into the '80s.
Because if you're choosing cars, you're not going to choose Knight Rider if you've got a chance to have the Dukes of Hazzard car, especially with the girl from the Dukes of Hazzard.
Car didn't speak to you, though, did it?
Daisy Duke.
Yeah, but you had Daisy Duke in the car. I'd rather she spoke to me.
There were a couple of American shows that I thought, oh yeah. I mentioned to Shaggy before we came on. Actually, he was Married with Children, which I've looked back with one featuring Al Bundy. I have a lot of which was Ed O'Neill played the character, and he went on to play the major role in Modern Family, which is a 21st century show. I think they finished making it now. But Al Bundy's a real put downs on people. He worked in a shoe shop, I think it was. And I thought Seinfeld might have been in the '80s, but it might have very, very late in '89, but ran mostly in the '90s. I probably would like Saturday Night Live if we had it over here, because that was a cult show, wasn't
It started over here.
Yeah, I thought I read some of this. I'd never watched it.
It started last week. I think it was the first one.
What, an English version, a British version?
Saturday Night Live, yeah.
Oh, right, okay. What night's it on, Jeff?
Let me think about that for a split second.
Thursday.
Yeah.
No idea.
Yeah, okay. It could be Saturday, I suppose. It's probably Friday in the States because of the time difference and all that. Right, okay. Thanks very much. Good bunch of 80 shows, and remembering all those.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of more as I speak, but I'm not going to say them because otherwise we'll be here all night. Thanks very much, Jeff. Thank you very much, Pete. We'll be back next week. I did say to Stinks earlier on, because I know Stinks is a big favourite of these. Maybe we should have a best of greatest hits albums. You could do one, couldn't we?
Best of.
Best of, yeah. Okay, so thanks very much. This podcast will go to the usual places in the coming days. When Shaggy gets a chance to do it, have a listen to that. What else can I say? I think it will be on the BBC. We've mentioned Cosby. That's about it today, really.
Yeah, we've done pretty well. Oh, no. I wouldn't get away with it with Ironsides, would I?
No, probably not.
Ironside dropped it.
That did not help.
I was a bit fattest as well with Cannon, saying that he wouldn't be able to jump on the hood of the car without destroying the car.
I might have pushed it a bit far with Lisa Bonnet.
All I've got left to say is, all I've got left to say is, it's a good night from me.
It's a good night from him.
It's a good night from them.